at Evo.
That's true.
Solo duck
That's
hunt.
true.
So this character's got stuff, and this character's got a lot of stuff, and Zane shows that off with patented incredible runs over and over. They really know their stuff. But Haven is that kind of consistent menace, always teetering on the edge of like getting into losers, getting into top 16 via losers, getting into top 8 via losers. They can make a big splash at any given moment. It just got to be their day. Is it today? We'll have to see.
I know you didn't say teetering because you saw Wario's turnaround dash animation. Because that's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, no, we're there.
Meanwhile, when I think of Zane, I think of like I just think of their setups, and I think of their I think of their can placement a lot of the time. They are so good, and like you see right there, and it's a staple of the character, but it's like that is a lot of Duck Hunt's stealing, is how well you were able to maneuver the can, and Zane, they're just so good at maneuvering it. However, and you don't normally see this kind of damage output from Duck Hunt. Some of that being mitigated by the neutral B chomp. That does have some healing on there.
Oh, he does end up dying.
Oh wow, and such a quick response off the clay shooter.
Yeah, especially after the trade off of it too. Like that's just instant recognition, and that's experience with a character from Zane. Like they gotta find their kills, because when you practice Duck Hunt, you realize this character, while a little bit awkward and some of your setups can be a little bit slow, there's plenty of damage output here. There's plenty of juggling opportunities. Like the Duck, while not a true disjoint, it does like retract and expand very quickly. It's finding the kill.
And
always
what a recovery there. Like weaving in between that hitbox and the stage. Another great can. You'll take that trade because that's valuable second stock damage.
That's a waft on Wario, by the way.
Yeah. That's the thing that's always looming.
In respect to gunman range, and to be fair, it's hard to. Recognizing each individual gunman can be certainly awkward, and the shield damage in order to get that shield poke, and watch out for the can. Really watch out for that can. It's almost like Duck Hunt is a new age or maybe an old age puppet kind of character. And,
oh my!
And these strings are getting pulled. There's no strings on this dog.
Yeah, I talked about the can is the biggest homie for Zane. And this is coming with a character who like literally rolls up to the match with 5 homies.
Quite literally, yeah.
No, make that 6 because it's the person in the background shooting the zapper.
Oh my god, Duck Hunt got friends.
And yet it's the can that does the job. That's a waft, but that's not a KO. And it's valuable damage for what it is, but now Wario has to kind of do some of that honest work to find the stock if he can.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how Haven wants to go about this, but either way, you need this kill now before you start trying to slow the game down and fish for another half walk or even full walk if you want to play if you want to just do that, I guess.
Yeah. There have been so many double can hits, and it's it almost looks like the players are scrambling to see who has stage positioning, like who is the closest person, like who is between who and the blast zone, and you can see them weighing their options, like, okay, do I go out and try and get the kill and risk getting reversed, or do I just like choose safety and try to make it back to the ledge?
I think Haven has realized their win condition right now. Like this is I need my haymaker, and that means I need to wait. Yeah, throws won't kill. Zane has so much control, but there's always that inkling of,
oh no! Oh, and you see how the terror that can instills in this percent. And and at the end, it's not the can that gets you. It's the dash attack at over 200. You mentioned how Wario can want to slow the game down when it gets into the real, like, you know, when they're really playing from behind. It's maybe a last stock situation. And Duck Hunt is a character that can allow that sort of play style to happen. But Zane, they just keep throwing the can at you, and they keep using the can to cover those other approaches that, despite the character archetype, Zane can really, really counteract that like slow it down play style that Warriors can sometimes succumb to.
You know those type of moments with characters like Rob, where they'll put out their top and try to force a situation where it's the Rob, you, and then the top, and you're kind of sandwiched in between them. That's what it feels like Zane is forcing constantly. They're trying to toss out Can and send it flying with things like dash attack and F tilt, and suddenly like expand that camera and force, basically force Haven into a cross-eyed kind of position where Can's on one side, Gunman's on the other, and a Clay Pigeon is not far behind. It's intimidating.
I love the messing with the camera meta. It's not the most important thing, but it's definitely real on some level.
Yeah, it detracts focus, even to just that little bit.
Right?
But he was sitting in shield. They were sitting in shield, waiting for Haven to do something, and the Can was just so intimidating. That's what I mean. Duck Hunt's a puppet character, and Zane is like they're pulling an orchestra.
Mm-hmm. Now, the opening of this stock has gone much better for Haven so far. Haven's holding a percent lead, and applying some really well-spaced pressure at that. But the damage is always going to be coming from Duck Hunt. Like the cannons are always going to be coming, the gunmen are always going to be coming. I'm not sure what the plan was there with the bike from Zane, but I hope they accomplished what they meant to.
No more. Only 8-bit, none of the 16-bit stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. What's a polygon? Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Talk to me when you've reticulated your splines, Haven. That's a very deep cut. For those of you following along at home.
All right. Still, it is Haven taking the first stock with that chomp on ledge, and now Haven can start playing the patented Wario game plan, where if you let this sit, if you let this moment sit, that's a full waft on Haven.
Right. And that combo that could have set up, you think it might have come out maybe like 7 seconds too early. Like that up tilt up air. That's the sort of thing that you always expect to end in a waft. The waft, it was only half a waft. There's the full one. There's a 2-stock lead. Haven's absolutely going to be building with 2 full stocks after this one to play with. You have to figure Haven's going to be playing to build up to that next waft.
Yeah, I mean they've got the time, right? They're at the first stock.
Oh yeah.
Waft was used about 4:35, which means around 3:30 we'll have half waft, and well, definitely at 3:30 we'll have half waft, and this game will almost certainly get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless we see some uncharacteristic mistakes out of Zane, and they, maybe, you can always walk into an F smash. Never rule that out.
Oh yeah, that dash back smash attack. That's kind of been.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, these can traits just never seem to be going in Zane's favor. They always find themselves a little bit too high or a little bit too low. Dash attack is necessary in order to evade without a punish. As Haven seems like they're in full control in this game too, but you do have to respect the can. You always got to respect the can.
And we saw in game number 1 just how good can traits can be when you're rocking a stock lead. But when you're at a stock deficit, can is you don't want that can near you. And I think Haven is playing to that as well, because when the can is coming out, Haven's running right at Zane. Because Haven knows that the trades are going to work out in his favor.
Oh yeah, every single time. Again, the duck being able to retract is
the pressure from Haven secure. We said that we were going to see another. We said that we were going to see another waft. We didn't. Tatsu. Haven said, "I don't even need that."
The fact that it was on the table, like stuff like Wario has a really solid game plan without waft. With waft, suddenly everything gets a lot more scary.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna mention that Zane does have very deep pockets, and Haven does secondary Corrin, so there is potential for like a character swap as well as like Fire Emblem character on Smashville. Like that's usually pretty good, but
yeah,
nope, they're sticking right with it. No changes here, and we'll see the evolution of this dynamic reach its climax on while listening to Bubblegum KK.
Right. And we've talked about the trades previously with the can trades previously, and so because of that, you have to figure that the first stock here is going to be really critical, because anybody who's the first person to secure a stock lead in this game is going to be able to use the can to their favor if they're able to force trades with it.
I'm sorry to reel it back a couple seconds, but that combo was hot.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
Like that's a first stock. This is a first stock position that Haven wants to be in for sure, because that's an empty hop down to a dash attack, not quite killing quite yet. Great DI right to the corner from Zane, and they need to get something started.
And there,
can trades.
There it is.
Can trades.
There it is. Get the percent lead. Play around can. That was over 100% lead that Haven had on Zane, and absolutely content to take the damage in order to get that, to secure that stock. We saw a lot of stuff almost kill. Haven playing with a ton of momentum here. And the can trades get a lot scarier on Smashville too, because there's a lot less there's a lot less space to maneuver the can around. And it's naive to reduce this matchup to just one factor like that. But it is such a big factor, and it's a factor that works to both players' advantage and disadvantage. It's not really a one-sided part of this matchup.
It's almost like a lot of the other stuff that Duck Hunt can throw out, they are strong in their own right, but they are set play tools that require setup. Can is arguably Duck Hunt's only major offensive weapon that doesn't require setup, and that's huge. I mean, Frame 1 will do that.
That's a fair point. That's a fair, yeah. Like setups or reads, because like you think about Duck Hunt killing a lot with up air, and especially that will be looming on a stage with a platform like this. But up air, the multi, it's one of the most dishonest multi hits in the game. Duck Hunt players will swear up and down about how they will tell you stories all night long about how that move does not work. And so if you want the raw kill power, I think you're right that it's really can or bust. But before that becomes a factor, Zane's gonna have to find a lot more of that damage to start digging themselves out of this percent hole.
And they've been playing the latter half of this game.
Right there, there's the setup.
Haven went from 50 to 90, and now at 113. Like this game went from looking kind of bad with a Wario with full waft to Zane might take this stock first and be in a blessing of a spot.
Ooh, and you saw just how hard Haven had to maneuver around that can off stage. Oh, that's a big drop on the up B. It's slightly mistimed on the down tilt. You may be wondering if Zane was maybe going for down smash there or something, but that's absolutely a situation where Duck Hunt can kill. Zane, they're still able to find the KO, up a stock here, and all right, that's a can. That is a can you'll absolutely take the damage for.
That's two now. That's two down tilt dash attacks that were just missed. Oh. The hitbox extension. Okay. The hitbox extension on the can, allowing for a two frame that is already really strong. And the ultimate homie with this can, saving Zane's bacon from what looks to be an almost hard read with a waft, though that waft is still online, and this game will continue to be even regardless of percent until that goes away.
Yep. Yubia, what did I lead with when we started this set? I talked about Zane and their can control. They can control this can. And, oh my goodness.
So I know that was...
What a shutdown. What an absolute shutdown on final stock. That's another game in which the waft was looming, but this time it was Zane who said, yeah, you're not getting that waft. You are not getting that waft in this game number 3. And you know what else we said? You can always walk into an F smash.
Always.
It can happen. happened to you?
So I wanna like point out how good Zane's platform control was. Like absolutely phenomenal. Placing oftentimes placing short hop up airs or cans on top of the platform just to make that just to completely cut off that recovery route and that landing route. A, super solid. B, that F smash was very well placed for the sheer fact that can was kicked and dribbled all the way over, preventing Haven from throwing out a button after jumping. He was forced to land with an empty hop in order to avoid extending Wario's hurt box, because that often happens with Wario's aerials. He extends his hurt box first, which let him fall right into the can trap and get caught between a rock and a hard place. Like,